in Tallahassee are hoping they enjoy a college football Saturday for the first time this year as they take on a Memphis Tigers team that was picked as the favorite in the American Conference this year. Thinking about the college football playoff, Florida State just needs a win as we welcome you to Tallahassee and we welcome you to the ACC on ESPN. The Tigers and the Noles here at Doak Campbell Stadium. Florida State began the season with hopes of another ACC title and hopes of a return trip to the college football playoff. Now, they are just trying to avoid the wrong kind of history. Another 0-3 start would be a true nightmare for the Garnet and Gold faithful. As we welcome you to Doak, Bob Wischusen here with Louis Riddick. Chris Budden will join us as well. We already know that Memphis won the toss and deferred their option to the third quarter. Florida State's going to start with the football, which means you're going to see right from the start the test of wills that you know this game really comes down to for this FSU team. Yeah, last time we were here, I said that they needed to have a character check here at Florida State, and they're going to get one right out of the gate. And primarily, how they respond from a football character perspective will be led by this offensive line in this run game, which we will see early on. All that experience they have on the offensive line, they have to establish the line of scrimmage so these three guys on your screen can go ahead and do what they do best, which is tote the rock. Roydell Williams, Lawrence Toafili, Cam Davis. You can add up the numbers below their names. They haven't rushed for a combined 100 yards. All three of them, they have to get going today. They will be faced with a very stiff challenge when Memphis has the football. Seth Hennigan, this is a guy, 82 career pass TDs. He's thrown a pass touchdown, or rather he's thrown a touchdown in all 39 games that he has played in. Every single game. He is up for the challenge. He is supremely confident. We had a great visit with him. Can't wait to see him get on the field. Tristan Vandenberg sends it deep. Deuce Spann. I'll go right to the back of the end zone for a touchback. So it will come out to the 25 for the Noles. Down to Chris Budden.
Well, DJ Uyunglele has heard the criticism. It was hard not to. When the last time they played here, you could hear the student section chanting, "We want Brock," as in Brock Glenn, the backup quarterback. Mike Norvell told us he heard it. It's hard not to. And then DJU heard it as well. But he also said, "I have never had a successful starting quarterback that did not go through some kind of adversity and does not affect the crowd, the noise, to affect him going forward."
How do you think he responds today, Louis?
Look, quite honestly, I think he'll be solid, but I think this game will not be in his hands. This game needs to be put in the hands of the running backs and put on the shoulders of this very experienced offensive line.
Roydell Williams lines up behind Uyunglele on first down, and it's a straight ahead run, and a good one at that. Roydell Williams running angry. Now to about the 33-yard line, a gain of 8 yards on first down, and Darius Coffey made the stop. But again, Roydell Williams, 48 yards rushing through the first 2 games combined for Florida State. And Louis, he's their leading rusher through the first 2 weeks.
Yeah, he's got to get going. They have a fleet of backs. They have this offensive line that has all these starts under their belt.
Lost the football. He coughs it up on the second snap of the game, and Chandler Martin scoops it up for Memphis. A disastrous start for the Noles as they turn it over on the second snap. Roydell Williams lost it, and the Tigers have it just like that, knocking on the door of the red zone.
It's just a fantastic hit on the part of Darius Coffey, who comes in and just puts his hat right on the football. And you see Chandler Martin pick it up. And just watch the safety, Coffey, right there, wham! This guy, you will see number 4 show up time and time again for Memphis. He is the tone setter. Ryan Silverfield, the head coach, said, if I had a son, this is who I want it to be. I want him to be just like Darius Coffey. And they play with tremendous football character, tremendous toughness. Now we're going to see the test with Florida State, because this defensive line is also has the spotlight on them. They need to respond now.
Can they deal with sudden change? And the experience of Seth Hennigan and the running of Mario Anderson Jr., who gets a push only for about a couple to begin. That same test of wills that you talked about applies to this defensive line, does it not? Every bit as much as the offensive line in the run game for Florida State's offense.
Absolutely, and the tone needs to be set by Darrell Jackson Jr., who you see on your screen, and Joshua Farmer, the 2 interior defenders Both of these guys are just massive human beings, great athletes. There's no excuse for them to not be able to control the line of scrimmage in this game. The talk is cheap.
And again to throw. Swings one right, and that's incomplete. Off the fingertips of Jamari Chisholm, the tight end. So now it's 3rd down and 8. And 3rd down has been a big bugaboo for Florida State so far this season as well. They have allowed opponents a 56% conversion rate. They were not able to stop Georgia Tech or Boston College in their first 2 games.
See, it all starts up front. The pass rush has got to get going. You watch the tape on these 2 teams, and you would expect Marvin Jones Jr. and Patrick Payton to be able to get some pass rush, especially in one-on-one situations. Keep an eye.
Crossing route there. Kobe Drake, 1st down into the red zone, and it's a goal to go down to the 7-yard line.
You're going to see Kobe Drake coming on the left side of your screen and just running the shallow cross, and Azareye'h Thomas just doesn't have the distance closed enough, and you can see he's frustrated at the end of it. Looks like there may have been a miscommunication in terms of where he was expecting help to come from. That is something that has plagued Florida State in their first 2 games. The lack of communication and assignment discipline, you saw it bite them there.
And Florida State has been terrible in the red zone as well. Hennigan, swing pass, incomplete. Coming into today's game, Lewis, and you just saw this is the 9th offensive red zone trip that Florida State has allowed. 7 of the previous 8, they've given up a touchdown. They've only made 3 trips offensively and have only scored 1 touchdown. So red zone touchdown percentage, it has been dominated by Boston College and Georgia Tech. And after giving it away on offense, right here, you've got Memphis with a red zone touchdown opportunity.
Guy of Seth Hennigan's experience, all the time that he has had in this offense, he knows exactly where the weaknesses and strengths are. Just keep an eye on Rock Taylor, number 3 at the top of the screen. Looks like he's got one-on-one coverage.
Quarterback draw instead, going nowhere. Joshua Farmer was ready and waiting for Seth Hennigan, and it's another 3rd down.
This is what you want from a guy like Joshua Farmer right here. You want him to reset the line of scrimmage by taking the center and putting him on his rear end. That's what you're supposed to do when you're someone who has the resume of Joshua Farmer. We need to see Darrell Jackson Jr. show up. We need to see Patrick Payton, number 11, and Marvin Jones, number 7. We need to see them show up too. But the game is on them on this side of the ball. Everything starts up front.
And the FSU defense get a stop. Can Memphis find the end zone, get another 3rd down conversion? Hennigan. The pocket collapsing, and he'll go down. And a lot of fist pumps from the Florida State sideline as their defense rises up and gets that rare red zone stop. It was Farmer again.
Just watch the game here. Penetrate, loop, constrict the pocket from the outside. It's just a TT stunt is what they call it. You see there the penetrator, Darrell Jackson. Farmer comes around. Darrell just keeps getting push upfield. That's how it's supposed to work. That's how it's supposed to look.
So the field goal converted by Caden Costa, but that's a win for the Florida State defense after Roydell Williams coughed it up. It was Andarius Coffey, helmet on the football, that knocked it away from Roydell Williams, but the turnover only costs FSU 3. Bob Wischusen here with Louis Riddick and Chris Budden. The Florida State Seminoles start the season ranked 10th in the AP poll and then lose their first 2 games and get shoved around in doing so by Georgia Tech and Boston College and turn it over on the game's first possession. But the defense rises up and gets a red zone stop, holding Memphis to a field goal. And now Deuce Spann lets this one land in the end zone for a touchback as well, as we take a look at today's road test brought to you by Goodyear. And Lewis, Your barometer for today's game, could they hold the line of scrimmage?
Absolutely. For Florida State, you have to rush for over 150 yards on offense. There's no excuse. You can't turn the football over. You got to establish the line of scrimmage. Allow less than 4 yards per carry. Well, it's only one drive, but they already have Memphis in negative territory. For Memphis, no turnovers. Don't turn the football over. Create turnovers. They've been good at doing so. Red zone efficiency. They've scored every single time that they've had the ball in the red zone so far this year, either with 6 or with 3. Now, they got 3 out of that drive. Obviously, you prefer 6, but it's a good start in that regard.
Now they go to the freshman Cam Davis. He lowers his shoulder with a flag down. So Lawrence Toafili, the 5th-year Alabama transfer, or rather Roydell Williams, pardon me, the senior transfer from Alabama starts.
Holding. Offense, number 69. 10-yard penalty. First down.
And after Roydell Williams coughs it up on the game's 2nd snap, 2nd possession, Mike Norvell goes to his true freshman, but a penalty will back up the Noles.
You're going to see T.J. Ferguson is going to be on the pull. And as he just starts losing the defender, you just cannot, when a defender gets to your edge, you're going to have to let him go. You just can't grab and hold. No self-inflicted wounds. Those are the things that Florida State can't afford in order for their offense to get into some kind of rhythm.
Uyunglele on a rollout. Spins. Gang tackled. Barely got back to the line of scrimmage. He may have lost a half yard. Now it's going to be 2nd down and at least 20 as Greg Rubin came up on the blitz and got there first.
Just a nice job of Memphis of changing the picture. That's something you're going to hear us talk about today. Changing the picture from pre-snap to post-snap. Looked like they were going to pressure, drop back into zone. DJ had nowhere to go.
Wide receiver screen. Jalen Brown. 2 yards. 3rd down and 18. And already you can sense in the crowd that they are frustrated.
Well, just like we saw the last time we were here at Boston College, giving them a lot of different looks up front, show them a lot of pressure looks, a lot of guys up on the line of scrimmage. Sometimes they would drop out, sometimes they would play man-to-man coverage. It's exactly what Memphis is doing here early on. That time, they brought the pressure, brought 5, played some man-to-man behind it.
And now a flag thrown. Florida State may have had too many men on the field. They ran a player off late. Let's see.
Illegal substitution. Offense. 12 men in formation. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
That's going to back them up to 3rd down and 23.
Personnel issues, self-inflicted wounds, pre-snap penalties. They're just drive killers. They're momentum killers for any offense, any football team. Florida State just has to get out of their own way in order for them to establish some kind of rhythm.
They're just going to protect the ball here and just try and buy some yards for the punt group. Chandler Martin brings down Toafili. So we'll see what kind of field position Memphis gets with the 3-0 lead.
But you're going to need Alex Mastromano, the punter here from Florida State, to continue to be maybe their most valuable player like he has been so far this year. The young man's averaging 49, just under 50 yards per punt, and he can absolutely boom, and he's got to change the field position here for Florida State. See if he can get Memphis backed up.
Line drive, he barely got it away. Kobe Drake returnable from the 26. Spin move. All the way out close to midfield. Oh, does the Memphis sideline love that return? A 52-yard punt, but a 22-yard return. And terrific field position for Memphis when we come back. This was the last game that Mike Norvell coached at Memphis. The 2019 AAC championship game. He would be introduced as the Florida State head coach the very next day. Brian Silverfield has now taken over as Mike Norvell comes to Tallahassee. Silverfield hoping for a conference title, and were they to win the AAC this year, who knows? In the era of the 12-team playoff, could they be the highest ranked conference champion of that group of 5 or group of 6? They could very well be. And we'll talk about Memphis's chances to make it to the college football playoff. But he has continued the success In the absence of Norvell is Mario Anderson on first down. Stood up. That's a loss of a yard. Let's check in with Chris.
Yeah, Silverfield was an assistant for Norvell for 4 years. How well do they know each other? Silverfield told us, I know how he breathes. I know how he thinks. I sat 12 inches from him at a table all those 4 years. He joined that staff because he wanted to learn from Norvell and eventually make a name for himself in the college levels. He had been at the NFL level, and he was the only position coach to stay with Norvell all 4 years at Memphis.
Second down and 11. Florida State brings the blitz. Hennigan, pump fake on the comeback route. He finds Demir Blankumsey about 5 yards shy of a first down. And Lewis, that says a lot for Ryan Silverfield, that as the coaching staff changed under Mike Norvell, he went nowhere. He stayed by Norvell's side all 4 years.
Yeah, it's a business of relationships, Bob. You know how it goes. I mean, you see it at every level. It's one of those unmeasurable things that usually leads to some kind of success for an organization if they can keep it all together. Relationships, trust, competency. They've had it at Memphis. Ryan Silverfield, fantastic young coach.
Big play here, third down and 5. Only a 4-man rush and a floater to no man's land. Miscommunication possibly between Hennigan and Blankumsey. Fourth down and 5 just across the 50-yard line. That's a big stop for the Florida State defense because they gave up field position, but they force a 3 and out.
And it's about the pass rush. Just watch it here, coming off the edge. This is exactly what Florida State needs to have. This time it's Sione Lolohea. He's getting off the edge, and you see him with that outside rip move, just speeding up the clock of Seth Hennigan to where he's just not comfortable yet. And that's something you haven't seen enough of out of Florida State's front four. That's a good example of what they need today.
Bad punt, maybe off the side of the foot of Joshua Sloan, out of bounds down the right sideline. And Memphis is not going to pin the Noles nearly as deep as they would like. So Florida State, after only a 25-yard punt, is not going to have bad field position at all. Let's check in with Matt Barry.
Big game, Bob. Good afternoon. I've got your Fairfield by Marriott studio update. We go to the Barnyard, Columbia, South Carolina. Lenoris Sellers and Cocky gets LSU up first, 7-0. Hey, Lewis Riddick, happy Backyard Brawl Saturday.
You okay?
Yeah, my boys are battling. I know they're battling. I know they will be battling.
You'll be scoreboard watching.
No question.
So Florida State at their own 22-yard line. You're worried when a team's punting at 50 that you might be inside your own 10. I'll start here with Toafili. And he's got nowhere to go. Thrown back, he loses 3 yards on first down. Mon Cole wrapped him up and tossed him back.
It's just that penetration. You just see Cole with the quick first step, just take a charge and just get upfield. When you have penetration, it just destroys anything you're trying to get going in the run game. This offensive line, again, 220 combined starts. When you look at that position group from Florida State, they've got to get better production than that.
Toafili again. This time speed to the edge, turns the corner, first down and more. Banged out of bounds by Davion Ross. But now a chunk play on the ground, and that's a momentum shifter for FSU, a gain of 24.
Yeah, you're going to see him just seal the edge. You just see Brian Courtney, the tight end, just sealing the edge. And when you don't play with discipline as far as setting that edge, teams can get out the gate on you and produce a chunk play.
Uiagalelei. Wide receiver screen. Malik Benson bottled up, no gain.
What do you do on the defensive side of the football, though? When you get hit by a chunk play, you go back to the drawing board and you just run to the football again, and you just tackle the football in numbers. And you will see that from Memphis all over the football field here today. They try and run a little tunnel screen. They have some one-on-one blocking out there on the perimeter, but all the pursuit from Memphis just flowing to the football like a pack of wolves. That's something when you turn on the tape, you see this team do over and over. They will not stop.
Now the 224-pound freshman Cam Davis back in the game, but Uiagalelei to Kyle Morlock makes a man miss. He was a 2-time All-American at Division II Shorter College, coming off of what he knew was the worst game he'd ever had at Florida State the Monday night a couple of weeks ago against Boston College. Drop balls, he was distraught to the point that Mike Norvell told us he had to go separately and talk to Kyle Morlock and kind of bring him back from the edge.
Yeah, because he knew that he was a big part of the game plan against Boston College 2 weeks ago, and he just wasn't able to come up with the plays necessary. Just go back to the drawing board, reset. It's nice to see them get him an early completion.
3rd down and 4 here. Davis, not even close, barely got to the line of scrimmage. Chandler Martin, the East Tennessee State transfer, a tackling machine, led the team in tackles last year. Off to a great start this year. Florida State will punt.
In this young season, we haven't talked to a young man who's been any more impressive than Chandler Martin. And he is just a playmaker all over the field for this football team. Can't leave him unblocked coming off the edge and allow him to produce TFLs in crucial 3rd down situations when you're trying to establish some momentum.
Pretty conservative play call as well on 3rd down and 4 at midfield. Just a straight ahead power run. Mastromano delays and angles the punt. Fair catch by Drake at the 10-yard line. 4:41 to go, 1st quarter. Memphis with the lead and the ball. Time for your weekend lineup, brought to you by Wendy's Saucy Nugs. Well, Lewis is going to be nervous about 3:30 this afternoon for the backyard brawl, West Virginia and Pitt. I'm going to keep my eyes on the SEC network starting very soon. Boston College back where they belong in the top 25.
Oh, wow.
Hey, look, we were in Tulane last week.
Where they belong. I like it.
Oklahoma.
No reason to be nervous.
Better have your antennas up in Norman today. Backed up is Seth Hennigan. That's incomplete. DJ Lundy was there to get a hand in and help break that one up. It's going to be 2nd down and 10 for Memphis at their own 10-yard line. Zaire Thomas was there as well. And Seth Hennigan has been a model of consistency for 4 years for the Tigers.
Yeah, he's just continued to grow, continued to mature in this offense to where now they say, look, the coach-to-player communication as far as how they talk to him really doesn't mean much. They don't really need it because he has all the tools at his disposal at the line of scrimmage and knows exactly how to get to the perfect plays.
Hennigan flips one left flat. Anderson out of bounds with a gain of 5. Cam Riley was there. That brings up 3rd down and 5. And Florida State, a couple of times, Lewis, on their half of the 50 has gotten 3rd down stops. This is a big 3rd down opportunity for the FSU defense to flip the field in their favor for the first time.
And it's about assignment football on this down. You saw just there Cam Riley keeping his eyes on his assignment. Mario Anderson leaking out of the backfield. We saw this defense get exploited by Boston College in that way. Are they assignment sure here on 3rd down?
4-man rush. Hennigan across his body, incomplete, tight window, flag down on the far side of the field. Anthony Lanfear, the tight end, was the intended receiver. Wrapped up by Fentrell Cypress. Flag thrown at the line of scrimmage.
Offside. Defense, number 15. The 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
Yeah, it's the defensive end, Sione Loloea. Had a nice rush earlier on Chris Adams, the left tackle, number 61. He said, look, I want a little bit more of that. Got a little anxious, but those are the kind of things you just can't have happen. They had played good 3 downs, about to get off the field. Now they got to reset.
Anderson tripped up, but picks up 7.
Mario Anderson, 5'9", 208 pounds, a transfer from South Carolina. We have a player down on the field.
And that's Justin Cryer, who made that tackle and stayed down after the hit. So while the trainers take a look at Cryer, hopefully just the wind knocked out of Cryer, we will remind you that today on ABC and ESPN Plus at 3:30 Eastern, Texas A&M will square off against Florida. And then at 7:30, number 1 Georgia meets Kentucky. We've also got featured games on ESPN Plus tonight. Virginia Tech, Old Dominion. NC Central, North Carolina, and Vandy, Georgia State. To get ESPN Plus, go to ESPNplus.com or download the ESPN app. Of course, that means Carson Beck in the spotlight later on as the Dogs in action. And what a start he's off to with 7 touchdowns and hasn't thrown a pick yet.
Is that good? Is that a pretty good
It's not
stat
bad.
line?
Yeah, I would say that's
he is
okay.
He is a good-looking prospect, man. He really is. Just fluid, sure with his assignments. As you see Justin Cryer being brought off the field here, that left arm hanging down by his side. You don't ever want to speculate, but his head really did jerk back when he was tackling Mario Anderson coming through the line of scrimmage. Hopefully he's okay and can get back on the field. The linebacker position has been one that's been victimized for Florida State all year long. They need as many healthy bodies out there as they can have.
Bring a blitz here. Hanging on the rollout. Finds a wide open man. That's the tight end. Breaking tackles is Brendan Doyle. And he's got a first down. Picks up 13.
And what you're going to see is you're going to see Doyle leak out here in the flat, and just keep your eyes on this linebacker right here. Just watch how they get frozen because of the motion and because of the ball handling of Seth Hennigan. They just turn the tight end loose out in the flat, and that is something that Memphis knew that they were going to try and exploit and try and test Florida State. Their second-level defenders. Are their eyes where they need to be? So you're going to see a lot of tricky ball handling, motion shifts all afternoon.
Anderson bottled up this time at the line of scrimmage, no gain. We talked to Ryan Silverfield about Seth Hennigan. There was a comparison he made to an NFL quarterback, and immediately your eyes got wide.
Yeah.
You said, whoa, that is a pretty high praise type comparison to give a college quarterback.
He sure did. And the name was Matthew Stafford, and he was referring to Matthew's just brilliant mind that he has in football intelligence. And he said, look, Seth Hennigan is about as smart as any quarterback ever been around, and he brought up that comparison, which is lofty praise, and this kid does not back down from those kind of expectations.
2nd and 10. Tripped up here. Goes down. Sacked for a loss of 7 by Patrick Payton. And now it's going to be 3rd down and a mile. Maybe about an 8-yard loss. So 3rd down and close to 18.
You see Patrick Payton here, and just watch this spin move back inside. This is the kind of thing that gets NFL scouts excited. Set him upfield with speed, spin back inside, try and stay on your feet, but he uses those long arms to trip up Hennigan as he's trying to escape out of the pocket. That's what they expect out of this defensive front.
Second sack for the Noles. Just over 90 seconds to go in the first quarter. Hennigan, well protected, sets up the screen. DeWosier's got nowhere to go. And Florida State gets the stop, and they're about to get the football back. Cam Riley on the scene first with the tackle. A loss of 4.
Another nice job by Cam Riley of keeping his eyes where they need to be. As they sit here and try and set up the screen and see whether or not you're going to be disciplined, see if you can still keep your eyes where they need to be and find your assignment.
And now that's Cam Riley that's down. So Florida State linebacking core is being depleted, as we saw earlier. Justin Cryer taken off during this series. They've been without Omar Graham because of injury. Cam Riley is now hurt. That's a war of attrition in the linebacking room right now for Florida State.
It sure is.
You can kick off your Sunday with NFL Countdown at 10 a.m. Eastern on ESPN. Alex Smith goes all access with Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce for an exclusive on-field workout. And then week 2 of Monday Night Football features the Falcons and the Eagles, 8 Eastern on ESPN. ESPN Deportes, and with Peyton and Eli once again on ESPN2. So Cam Riley is up, but he is walking off the field very slowly as well.
It's hard to tell what had happened to him as he came up and made the play. Mario Anderson, textbook read on the screen. Just hope he's okay. They are losing bodies left and right at that linebacker position.
Well, the only 3 points that Florida State has allowed so far was a field goal by Memphis after Roydell Williams fumbled on the second snap of the game inside the Florida State 25-yard line. So their defense has done the job so far. And their offense gets something going. Fair catch by the freshman LaWayne McCoy at their own 27-yard line. Because to this point, Lewis, their offense has not gotten anything going.
Yeah, they sure haven't. Fumbled on the first. On the first drive, Roydell Williams has taken a heck of a hit from Darius Coffey. And then 2 punts. They just got to establish some rhythm. I still say, look, this offensive line, again, with all these starts, 366 collegiate games as a group, over 220 starts. And they're not just empty starts. These are good football players. That's where it starts up front. If you cannot own the line of scrimmage, then everything is just going to fall apart from there. And that's what they have got to continue to get to, sprinkle in the passing game. But they're up against it with this Memphis defense.
Haven't seen Roydell Williams since the fumble. It's Cam Davis again. And another screen. This one to Hakeem Williams. And Memphis was ready for it. Williams bumped out after a gain of 2.
This secondary for Memphis, I don't care what team you watch this year in college football, you won't see a secondary tackle better than this Memphis secondary. They have athletes that are tough competitors, very skilled, and they will test you.
Another wide receiver screen. Ready for it again, Memphis. Davion Ross all over Jalen Brown. And the crowd booing and Brown not getting up. So another Florida State injury with a half minute to go in the first. Let's check in with Chris.
A couple updates on the injury updates for Florida State. Justin Cryer was on the bench moving both of his arms and his legs. But bad news is I just saw Cam Riley go into the locker room having to be assisted by 2 Florida State trainers walking in there.
And now they're worried about Jalen Brown as well, as they just got Hakeem Williams back off the hamstring injury. But Jalen Brown was hit hard by Davion Ross. It looked like he went right up, starting to hold his head.
Yeah, you see Kobe Minor. You watch. Yeah, I think it is Minor, number 7. Watch how his head hits the ground at the end right there. You see the little extra emphasis that he put on him when he put him on the ground. You'll see it better here with this replay. But it's the head that didn't really got jammed into the ground. And you hate to see that. How sensitive we are to players and head trauma, and we don't want anybody getting concussions, and we know how serious that injury can be if that's in fact what it is, and I don't want to speculate what it is. But this Memphis secondary is physical now, and they know that that is going to be a big part of helping them try to win this football game. And as I had mentioned earlier, they play that style of football as well as anybody in the country.
DJ Uiagalelei is now 5 of 5 passing for 7 yards. Just to illustrate, Lewis, that this offense seems to be playing in a phone booth. I mean, at what point would you be saying, if you're calling plays, or even if you're the head coach, guys, we have to push the ball down the field?
Yeah, you have to give guys like Malik Benson, like Darian Williamson, like Duspan, you got to give these guys a chance. Kentron Portier, you got to give them a chance down the field. Put it up, let them win the one-on-one jump ball and one-on-one coverage.
4-man rush. Uiagalelei is going to take a shot, but it's a wobbly ball, and it turns into an interception. Boy, that came out floating down to the 35-yard line of Memphis, and it turns into an easy pick. Taj Rael was waiting for it, almost like it was a punt. He looked like a return man as Uiagalelei's arm might have been touched a bit on the release. A wobbly pass and a Florida State turnover.
You're going to see right here, Brett Carhu, number 45. You see the nice inside pass rush there against Jalen Early, and he spins back out of it. And you see how he gets that left hand up? That's called matching the hand of the passer. where you maybe will get a tip ball like this, and then down the field, it's a free-for-all. But that's exactly what you're coached to do as a defensive lineman. Watch here. He spins back out of it, and watch his left arm. He's purposely doing that to try and match the hand of the thrower. That's why his left arm went up. That's textbook. That's textbook execution on the part of Brett Carhu.
Hennigan, the crosser. And that should end the first quarter with a 6-yard gain to Rock Taylor for the first time. And that does take us to the end of the first.
That's the end of the first quarter.
Memphis with a 3-0 lead here in Tallahassee.
Coach, your defense has done the job getting you the ball back. What do you need on offense to be able to counteract that pass rush?
Yeah, we got to be able to sustain some drives. I mean, offensively up front, we got to do a little bit better job. I think getting the run game going will obviously help alleviate some of that pass rush. We got to do a better job. It starts with me.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Lewis, that's probably the story of this game so far. The two defenses have played well. Neither offense has taken advantage.
Yeah, they sure haven't. Neither one of them have been able to produce any explosives. Plus 20 in the passing game, plus 10 in the run game. You've got to get them.
Lewisier. Close to a first down. About a half-yard short before he's sent back in the opposite direction by Farmer. That's going to make it 3rd down and short to start off the second quarter for Memphis to try to keep this drive alive after their second takeaway.
What you like to see on the part of Florida State is the fact that their interior too, Joshua Farmer, Darrell Jackson, Daniel Lyons, 95 when he's in there, these guys are playing their hearts out. They're trying to own the line of scrimmage and make it tough. They're responding.
Justin Cryer back in the game for Florida State. That's good to see. Straight ahead run and a first down. Blake Nicholson hammered into Brandon Thomas, but Thomas, forward momentum, pounded his way for a first down.
That is a good, tough run. Look, I was down the field pregame and taking a look at the Memphis running backs, and Brandon Thomas at 5'10", about 210, 215 pounds. Let me just tell you this, the kid is just chiseled out of granite, absolute granite. And Blake Nicholson, the linebacker, it was one-on-one in the hole, old school. He felt exactly what I saw in pregame. They have got a fleet of running backs from Memphis, and they'll use them all today.
Mario Anderson, flag down. He's got a first down if the play stands. It's coming back.
Illegal formation. Offense. 5 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. First down.
First Memphis penalty will make it 1st and 15.
What you're talking about right here is this tight end needs to be up on the line of scrimmage. You see here, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys in the backfield. Illegal. Tight end has to be up on the line of scrimmage. Again, that's just a pre-snap penalty you can't afford to have if you're Memphis.
Hennigan well protected. He's got a one-on-one for Rock Taylor. Drops it in. First down. Into the red zone for Memphis. Over the shoulder of Ventrell Cypress. Taylor is the favorite target of Hennigan. We see it here.
And you just see Rock Taylor, all 6'3", 215 pounds of him, with the inside release to give him some room along the sideline to run that corner route, because he's going to break it back outside. They love Rock Taylor at Memphis. They say he is just a quintessential teammate. Very deferential, loves his teammates, will do anything for the team. And oh, by the way, he's a fantastic looking prospect, as you saw right there, going up against a very good corner in Ventrell Cypress.
Official timeout.
I think the chains got tied up over on the sideline as Memphis was at the line and wanted to go quickly, but now they're going to try and untangle the chains. That gives both teams a chance for a timeout and a chance to look at this route by Taylor.
You see him just set him outside and then kind of like get on top of him, try to stack him, and then break back outside on the 7, which is a corner route, and Seth Hennigan just puts it right on him.
Needs to cease playing when Memphis is in their offensive formation. Florida State band needs to cease playing when the offense is in formation.
That's the Memphis band playing right now. Florida State band just got scolded.
I tell you, just identifying the one-on-one coverage.
The Florida State band just fired up. Let's see if they stop.
Well, they need to do something because right now their defense is up against it here in the red zone where they've struggled. And see, this is where Seth Hennigan's football intelligence comes into play. Identifying the matchups, making the adjustments, making sure he's protected.
Hennigan pulls it into the flat. Landfear inside the 5-yard line. I think he's got a first down. Very close. It might be goal to go for Memphis. It is a first down.
Again, it's the ball handling with the different motions in the backfield or the different releases. It's just confusing the linebackers for Florida State. And you have to be on top of it. You have to be on top of your assignments. Otherwise, with a team like Memphis that has scored on all 12 of its red zone drives that you just saw on your screen, they're going to get you.
Straight ahead run. Thomas to the 2-yard line. Again, coming into today, opponents have been in the red zone against the Florida State defense 8 times. They had scored 7 touchdowns. But today, first possession of the game for Memphis. They got inside the red zone. Florida State held them to a field goal. Can they get an inside the 5-yard line stop here?
So now here on this second down, they brought some big people in the game. You see Jamari Chisholm, who's lining up at fullback, who's another tight end. So they've got 3 tight ends on the field, a back and a wide out. Typical run formation.
Hennigan stumbled coming away from center. He just got tripped up by his own offensive lineman and lost 4 yards. Now it's going to be 3rd down and goal back at the 6.
And why is that? Because Trent Holler, the offensive center, you're going to see him right here. He gets pushed back off the line of scrimmage by Darrell Jackson Jr. And you talk about getting knocked back. You hear defensive line coaches talk about that. What they're saying is take the offensive lineman and reset the line of scrimmage by coming off the ball, because those are the kind of things that can happen. Quarterback on the ground, plays over. So you've done your job. The defensive line has responded for Florida State so far.
I'm not sure he even did trip over an offensive lineman. Like he toe-picked. Hennigan into the flag. Touchdown! DeWosier got to the goal line. And Hennigan, for the 40th consecutive start, has a touchdown pass. And Memphis hits pay dirt. They've got a 2-score lead.
Communication issues again for Florida State. You could just see the second-level defenders all talking to one another as the play started to declare. You could see them talking. That's Earl Little Jr., the transfer from Alabama. I mean, the mistakes continue to haunt this football team. They continue to haunt them. Some of the same things that Boston College exploited them for down here in the red area. The only thing that Memphis did was they said, hey, you know what? Until you find an answer for it, we're going to test you with the same thing. So far, advantage Memphis.
It's the Taco Bell Live My Student section. All season long, student sections across the country are competing to be the Taco Bell Live My Student section of the year. Download the Taco Bell app to learn more. Not a real happy student section right now. After an 8-play, 65-yard touchdown drive and all 10 Memphis points off turnovers. Another touchback off the kickoff. Back to Matt.
Bob, I've got your AT&T multi-view.
Well, Memphis has struck first here. And some boos for the Florida State offense as they take the field at Doak Campbell Stadium. You see on your screen why. Roydell Williams back in, I believe, for the first time since the fumble to open the game. Uiagalelei sacked. Wow. It just goes from bad to worse. Vic Alabuede brings him down for a loss of 8.
You're just going to see Vic. He gets a little late jump off the ball. And the right tackle, Jalen Early, just passes that little stunt off a little too late, doesn't stay with him, and allows him to get penetration. It's a lot of miscommunication errors on both sides of the ball for Florida State, which has been indicative of their season so far.
Another wide receiver screen. That's the passing game for Florida State right now. Malik Benson gets back most of what they lost on the sack. Chandler Martin makes the stop, but it's 3rd down and 11.
See, Mike Norvell right now is just trying to find out exactly what do I have, like what can I go to, what are the good plays I can go to here, who can I count on, because everyone hasn't had an assignment breakdown so far at every phase on offense, whether it be offensive linemen, backs, wide receivers.
Uiagalelei to the sideline. That's a tough throw, and Ja'Kai Douglas is there to make the catch for the 1st down.
That's a fantastic throw on the part of DJ Uiagalelei. If you're a defense, this is the way you want him to roll out, because we've seen him struggle trying to get his shoulder square and his hips turn, rolling to his left. He puts that one on the money.
They waste no time getting right back to the line of scrimmage. This time the pump fake. He fakes the screen, has all day to throw, and checks it down to Malik Benson for an incompletion.
I think he wanted to go with the screen and go and see if he could get the ball downfield to Ja'Kai Douglas. But Memphis secondary played it perfectly, and he had to eat it. He had nowhere to go with the football.
Philly back in the game to the left of Uiagalelei. That's Morlock in motion. They'll run it with Toafili. He's heading east-west. And he's brought down for no gain. 3rd down and 10.
Chandler Martin, number 11. On the Butkus and the Bednarik and the Nagurski Award watch list preseason. He can do it all. He is smart, no false steps, great with his run entry, pad level, can play the pass, can blitz, can tackle. He's a do-it-all linebacker who has a great story, and he is producing so far in this game.
He was first team All-AAC last year, 95 tackles, the team high. And here's a 4-man rush on 3rd and 10. Uiagalelei out of the pocket again across his body. Bobbled and dropped by Darion Williamson. And it'll be 4th down. You know, the crowd is booing Uiagalelei at times when he's failing. Lewis, he's not getting a lot of help. He's certainly not getting help from the Florida State run game, and now Williamson drops the ball.
I mean, this is about as basic of a route combination as you can get. This is like day 1 install. Just watch this. You got a curl route, you got a flat, and you got a spot route over the middle. Just a 3-man combination against zone coverage, and you see it's open. It's just wide open. He should be able to turn up the field and pick up the 1st down. And you can't catch the ball. I mean, if you're Mike Norvell, what else can you do?
Immediately dropped as Kobe Drake was hoping for a return, and instead he gets walloped by Edwin Joseph.
For targeting, kicking team, number 33. 15-yard penalty. Number 33 is disqualified.
And as we return, you probably heard the tail end of the call. Edwin Joseph on the special teams tackle has been ejected as they determined that to be crown of the helmet on Kobe Drake on the punt return. This was a booth-initiated targeting call, and Lewis turns out to be the right call. And that's a 15-yard penalty that will put Memphis all the way out to their own 27-yard line.
Yeah, again, it's just another self-inflicted wound on the part of Edwin Joseph. Look, you just have to lower your target as far as where you're going to strike. Keep your head up and run through the punt returner and try and time it up. Just a lack of concentration, lack of discipline. There's no other, you can't make an excuse for it. It's just bad football, dumb football.
Hannigan, slant, bobbled ball, and it's found by Brendan Doyle. And he's got yards after the catch catch as well for a first down. He picks up 16.
Again, here's Seth Hennigan playing with the second-level defenders of Florida State. Just watch him. He sells them on the halfback wide on that little swing route, gets the flat defender to bite and not stay true to his zone drop. And then you just see Brendan Doyle just sneak into that little void. That's Matthew Stafford-ish type of stuff that I asked him about. I said, can you move defenders with your eyes? He goes, absolutely. I know exactly what I'm doing out here.
Anderson wrestled down after a gain of a couple. Well, I thought it was interesting, too, when Ryan Silverfield compared Seth Hennigan to Matthew Stafford. Said not only is he the smartest quarterback that I've been around since Matthew Stafford, but by the time I was around Matthew Stafford, Matthew had been in the NFL for 6 years already.
Yeah.
Wasn't like I was around Matthew when he was a college quarterback. He was already 6 years into his NFL career. That's how smart I feel Seth Hennigan is at this point in his college career. Hey, he's the only fourth-year starter in FBS to spend all 4 years at the same school. So he's rewriting the Memphis record books. From the pocket here, it's Anderson with a stiff arm. About 3 yards shy of a first down. Chris.
That intelligence you talk about with Hennigan, he says, comes from hard work. Part of it also comes from being the son of a longtime high school football coach. He said growing up, he would have 2 whiteboards that he would write on constantly in his bedroom. One had their offensive game plan, the other defensive concepts. He goes, I wasn't born worth it. You work hard to gain intelligence.
Growing up as the son of a coach, that's got to help.
No doubt. No doubt. Look, he puts in the extra. He knows the advantage that he has in terms of his knowledge of this offense and what he can do with the line of scrimmage. It's fun to watch.
Third down from midfield, and now it's going to be fourth down. And a decision after only a yard gain for Mario Anderson. Florida State gets a third down stop. Blake Nicholson made the tackle. Ryan Silverfield, is he going to go for it on fourth down from the 49-yard line of Florida State? Seth Hennigan has connected on 9 straight completions. And Lewis, would you snap the ball here? What do you think about this decision?
Yeah, look, I think he thinks his defense has this offense on the ropes. I think you could deliver a little bit of a knockout blow. You pick this up.
They are going for it, and they're going to throw for it, and they're going to get it. Hennigan to Landfear. And a fourth down conversion. He's got 10 straight completions.
Look at the confusion right here. Look at the confusion. You got 2 guys chasing one route runner and just turning loose Anthony Landfear.
The ruling on the field of a catch is under review.
Did that ball touch the ground?
Immediate timeout.
This certainly needs to be reviewed. We'll have the result when we come back. Lewis, a very quick change by the replay booth while we were away.
Yeah, Anthony Landfear, you see in here, he's never really able to gain control of the pass as he's in the air, and then when he hits the ground, he loses even further control of it. You see the tip of the ball touch the ground. It's an easy call on the part of replay. Would have been an explosive play, though, for Memphis and set him up nicely.
Instead, it's a turnover on downs at midfield. So the best starting field position for Florida State. And Keziah Holmes, his first carry. It's a 4-yard pickup. Let's go down to Chris.
After Florida State's last possession, Mike Norvell came over, talked to the offense, had a lengthy conversation. The summary was, I just need each of you to do your job. Do not worry about the other and execute. That had been the focus this week, is don't be afraid of failure. Just do your job and trust your instincts.
Rolling is Suyangalale, makes a man miss. And gets gang tackled. Blake Edmondson, part of the group to bring him down, a yard shy of the first down. Greg Rubin there as well. Well, a big focal point for Mike Norvell seemed to be having fun playing football again for Florida State. Does this group look like they're having a lot of fun to you?
No, look, when you don't execute, you can't pick up first downs and put the ball in the end zone. It's not a lot of fun at all. They need a score. They need 6. And they need to produce some kind of explosive outside in a one-on-one situation.
Screen, bobbled, and have to go for it.
I mean, this is just absolutely unbelievable. We saw this 2 weeks ago, the inability of the Florida State pass catchers to just hold on to routine passes. This is just a screen. It's just a halfback screen. That's all it is. Keziah Holmes has probably caught 100 of these in his lifetime. But everyone's trying to do a little bit extra because they see what's happening. They see it slipping away from them again. And when that happens, it just starts to snowball on you. And the most routine things become a huge struggle, like catching a simple screen pass.
Timeout. Florida State, they're first. 30 seconds.
And before fourth down, Mike Norvell calls a timeout from the sideline. Well, it certainly seems like a no-brainer to go for it. Our analytics agrees. Fourth down and 1. As we take a look at today's player spotlight, brought to you by Downey Unstoppables. Unfortunately, for Florida State, their entire offense, including DJ Uiagalelei, they've been very stoppable so far today.
Yeah, it's just the basics, the basic fundamentals of offensive play that involve throwing and catching. Just throwing and catching. The quarterback can't do both. I know it's easy to boo DJ Uiagalelei. Look, he has had his misses. He's also had people just let him down and not catch the football. And for Seth Hennigan, he has been on point all afternoon.
Uiagalelei does it himself. A little zone read, and the fake to Roydell Williams worked. Memphis bought it, and Uiagalelei picks up 5.
I mean, it's a great read on the part of DJ Uiagalelei. You see there, he reads the defense. You see all the blue hats converge in between the A and B gaps, meaning in between the center and guard. And he notices that he has some space out there to just pull it and pick up the first. Great decision on his part.
3 tight ends on the field. Play action. Another rollout. And an incompletion. Well out ahead of Williams.
There's really nowhere to go on that one. Memphis really did a nice job of just matching the routes as they dispersed. DJ just really just threw it away. Didn't want to take a sack. No negative plays, especially now when you're in plus territory and you're on the plus 36-yard line. And they've actually established a little bit of a rhythm.
That was his first incompletion that wasn't either a drop or an interception. Another play action fake. He's under pressure and spikes the ball. And they'll call that an incomplete pass. It's scooped up, but the officials have already blown the whistle. As Greg Rubin
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. Third down.
And Rubin was all over Uiagalelei.
Yeah, they just turn him loose off the edge. Looks like there may have been a little bit of a mix-up in terms of the protection, and you just see Rubin have a free run at DJ, speed up his process again, just trying to prevent a negative play, get the ball out of his hands. But give credit to defensive coordinator Jordan Hankins of Memphis, just changing the looks, changing the front structures, changing the blitzes, the coverages. Look how much movement there is pre-snap.
Rollout on third down. Sings one to the sideline and airmails Kentron Portier. And now it's fourth down. And this will be a long field goal attempt if they try it. Ryan Fitzgerald certainly has the leg. And they're going to try and put 3 on the board. That's 6 consecutive incompletions now for Uiagalelei.
It's a good thing he did airmail it, and I think he threw it that way on purpose because Kobe Minor, the corner, had read it perfect. You see him right there. Had he put that on the money, that would have been a pick, maybe a pick 6. So he made the right decision. See if they can get on the board here to 3.
54 yards for Fitzgerald. He was 2 for 2 from 50 plus in Dublin. He's got some leg. You kick him like that, you're on your way to the NFL. He had a 59-yarder against Georgia Tech in week 0, the longest ever by an ACC kicker in a conference game. Tacked on 1 for 52 in that game as well, and another 50-plus yard field goal, and that gets the Noles on the board.
The kicking specialists for Florida State have been their MVPs so far in this young season.
This season, All State will celebrate every field goal and extra point made by participating universities by by making a donation to the university's General Scholarship Fund. Thank you to Allstate. So Florida State gets 3. But, Lewis, that doesn't feel like they've got the answers as well. It feels like all the questions are still there.
Yeah, they are still there because there's just no rhythm. There's just no consistency. When DJ is on, the wide receivers are off. When the wide receivers are open, maybe DJ's not seeing it. Maybe he's not seeing it because the offensive line isn't protecting properly. It all goes together. It's just that the quarterback is the lightning rod. He's the one who everybody focuses on because there aren't many people in the stands here watching whether or not the protection schemes are fundamental. But they can see the drops, and they see when he misses throws, and it's just been so spotty.
Touchback on the kick. How about back to the Memphis touchdown that gave them, at the time, the 10-point lead?
It's just the same thing that they have continued to be plagued with in terms of communication of their second-level defenders. Just look at them. They're all pointing. They know what's coming. They know DeWosier is about to leak out into the flat. They know they need to push that underneath zone coverage wider, and they need to get the nickel defender out on the perimeter so he doesn't get outflanked. But Earl Little doesn't move. He sees that you see him communicating, but it's almost like paralysis by analysis. And down there in the red area, when you have that, things happen too fast. You're going to give up 6. But that's been the story of their season.
Now, let me ask you one positive, though, for Florida State. Right now, Memphis has -4 rushing yards. So as much as we have harped on Boston College and Georgia Tech,
Memphis.
and now Memphis calls a timeout before they even
seconds.
start this series. As much as we have harped on Boston College and Georgia Tech moving the line of scrimmage against this kind of quote-unquote hyped-up defensive line for Florida State, have you seen what you've wanted to see out of the Florida State front 7, specifically the front 4 today, to tell you they're playing with some pride?
Yeah, as it relates to the run game, yeah. By and large, Darrell Jackson, Joshua Farmer, you've seen the linebackers, you've seen Lundy, Riley, you've seen number 20 Nicholson, Justin Cryer. These guys have all stepped up and played downhill and tried to play with some physicality. You've seen them reset the line of scrimmage. But it's just the critical mistakes, like we just drew up on the touchdown throw. It's those things that just continue to plague them, though.
Hannigan, wobbly throw here. Popped up in the air. Ventrell Cypress was there in coverage. As again, Lolohea looked like he got a step, certainly, with a good pass rush to force the wobbly Hannigan throw.
Yeah, you see Lolohea coming off the defensive right side. Marvin Jones Jr. gets a nice pass rush against Keydrell Lewis, the right tackle for Memphis. And they just converge. Look, they've heard the message. They know what's being said about them locally, nationally, by the media. This is a team that was supposed to have the best front 4 in all of college football, according to some. They haven't lived up to that, but they're trying to respond.
Hannigan out of the pocket. Up the seam. Jump ball. Broken up. Behind Kobe Trankabit, his intended receiver, and Kevin Knowles recovered to knock it away. Now it'll be 3rd down and 10, and that stops the clock again with 2:14 to go.
Again, Florida State dodged, potentially giving up a big play. As you see Knowles just get out of position. The ball is underthrown to Kobe Drake. Had Hannigan been able to get some more on it, that may have been a touchdown right down the middle of the field in the backbreaker.
As frustrated as the crowd has been with the offense, they like the effort the defense has put up. And they bring a blitz on 3rd down and 10. And a lob throw to no man's land for Hannigan on 3rd down. So Florida State about to get the ball back again before halftime with 2 timeouts remaining. And the 2-minute timeout as well.
Florida State in the secondary, they lock them down, able to play good man coverage. You see a little bit of miscommunication on part of Seth Hennigan and Rock Taylor. You see Hennigan just go over to him right there. Probably was expecting him to take it up the field on the go route. Rock adjusted his route. He had to throw it away. Give Florida State's secondary some credit. They are fighting. The front 4 is fighting. Offense just got to find some rhythm.
Fair catch. Made in traffic. No, it's bobbled. Memphis has a recovery, it appears, as it was coughed up by LaWayne McCoy. Was he interfered with, or was his own man blocked into him?
Oh, that's exactly what happened. You're going to see Quindarius Jones, number 16. You just got to get away from the returner. You have got to give him space. You can't be allowed or allow the opponent to continue to just push you.
The ruling on the field is the receiver was contacted by a member of the receiving team. The ball was then touched by the receiving team and recovered by the kicking team. It's first down, Memphis. That is the 2-minute timeout.
And no kick-catch interference if your own man is blocked into you, right,
Yeah,
Lewis?
you just have to have some awareness, Bob. You have to understand that he's calling for a fair catch. Get the heck out of the way. Do not interfere, otherwise it costs you big time.
Well, Matt, Memphis looking to add to their lead here as they go to work, and they are now inside the 20-yard line. Kobe Drake off the turnover is able to pick up 9 yards. As now Florida State, Lewis, has 3 first downs in the first half, and they also have 3 giveaways.
Just cannot win giving the football to the other team. Simple as that.
Little tunnel screen, but Drake might be about a half-yard shy of the first down. It's going to be 3rd down and a foot at the 18-yard line.
Florida State has to find a way to keep this to a field goal at the most. They have not played good red zone defense all year long. Memphis has done a nice job, again, of exploiting the linebackers in man coverage, which is exactly what you expect in this 3rd and short type of situation. So expect some kind of rub route, some kind of ball handling in the back end to test the eyes of the second-level defenders if they don't run the football.
Quarterback keeper. And a little flip pass in the left flank, and a good read by Fentrell Cypress to cut down Brendan Doyle short of the first down, and Florida State calls a timeout.
The ruling on the field is the ball carrier was short of the line to gain. Timeout, Florida State. Their second. 30 seconds.
Indecision there from Seth Hennigan after the fake. And Florida State does indeed get the 3rd down stop.
It's just been a comedy of errors when it comes to these turnovers. This have not been able to hold on to the football and protect the football. It started off right away with Roydell Williams getting the ball knocked off of him. Here, DJ Uyunglele gets his arm hit. Ball pops up in the air down the field. You know the Memphis defense has been looking for those opportunities. And then here, that is just a bad, bad mistake on the part of the punt return team for Florida State of not having awareness as to where the returner is and getting out of the way.
What do you think of this decision? Looks like they're going for it on 4th and 1 rather than taking the short 3.
Look, I questioned that play call on the 3rd down play. They have much better things in their playbook. I like it, though. I like the aggressiveness, especially with this quarterback.
Straight ahead run. And grinding it out for the first down is Brandon Thomas. So that will stop the clock for Memphis for a moment. 45 seconds to go in the half.
And there you see it, the line of scrimmage. Florida State not really able to reset the line of scrimmage, and we already talked about Brandon Thomas. He's the short yardage specialist for this Memphis offense. Low center of gravity, great leg drive, fresh set of downs.
Aussie in motion. They'll run it again. Breaking tackles is Thomas. Flag down. And it looks like this will go against Memphis.
It's like maybe they're going to get a holding.
Holding. Offense, number 71. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Memphis still has a couple of timeouts. Now we're down to 26 seconds to go.
And you're going to see here, it's left guard Xavier Hill.
Timeout. Memphis, their second. 30 seconds.
He is going up against an absolute mountain of a man in Darrell Jackson Jr., and he basically wins the battle. Now, as Darrell's trying to get off the block, you see that right hand. That's where they caught him. But that's a heck of a job by Xavier Hill. this Memphis offensive line is dealing.
Today on ABC and ESPN Plus, 3:30 Eastern, Texas A&M squares off against Florida. Then at 7:30, #1 Georgia meets Kentucky. And Noche UFC is tonight at Sphere in Las Vegas. To order the main card in English and Spanish, go to espnplus.com/PPV. All right, after the timeout, after the penalty, with the clock stopped and only 26 seconds to go in the first half, why do you think Memphis just called a timeout?
Like, I think right now they just want to make sure they have a good play call on, because their quarterback has been just fantastic so far today, and they want to make sure that they're all on the same page. They have their ducks in a row and they're attacking where they want to attack down the field.
Hennigan has a long check down, but he airmails Anderson, or check that Taylor. Just throws it right over his head. So now with 20 seconds to go, 2nd and 20 and only one timeout, are you thinking more manage the ball and let's just play for a field goal? How aggressive would you get?
Yeah, especially, you know, I think they may be looking for, let's just make sure we stay in comfortable field position here. If we're able to pop one and score and get 6, then fine. But I think the play calling is not going to be a go for broke type of situation here where the quarterback's going to put the ball in harm's way. But this kid has everything at his disposal in this offense. I think he will look to exploit any opportunity in the secondary.
Hennigan steps up. Sliding catch is made at about the 13-yard line. And it looks like the final timeout will be called as Blankham C gets about half back of what they needed.
Memphis, their 3rd and final. Please reset the game clock to 15 seconds. 15 seconds on the game clock, please. Thank you.
So interesting here is now 3rd down and 7. Certainly in a spot here where you can take a shot at the end zone. And of course, if you pick up a first down, college rules, the clock stops and gives you a chance to get up and spike the ball if necessary.
Yeah, I think here it's going to be about what kind of look does he get as far as whether or not he wants to go ahead and take a shot. And I think you have to be looking to a guy like Rock Taylor because of how big and how long he is, that if you can get a shot to him down the field and go ahead and put this game away, you look for those opportunities.
Are you looking for a specific matchup, or if you're Hennigan, are you looking for a specific defensive look?
I'm looking more for a specific defensive look, meaning it's maybe single safety middle. You don't have 2 safeties back deep, and you can get a one-on-one on the outside, although you can still exploit one-on-one on the outside. You see the coverage at the top of the screen. You can see how far off the secondary is playing Rock Taylor.
Well, Hennigan wide open. He's got Landfair looking for the pylon, and he's out of bounds. That'll stop the clock and give them a first down. He didn't get to the end zone, but boy, he got close. He's at about the 1-yard line.
Again, this is an example of 2 guys chasing one receiver and turning loose the tight end, Anthony Landfair. It has been something, again, and I sound like a broken record. It just happens over and over again with this defense. And it happens in the red area where you can least afford for it to happen.
Now they have no timeouts left because they spent a timeout with the clock stopped after that penalty was called. So they may have 1 or 2 plays here, but they cannot be tackled in the field of play. Hennigan to throw. And that is bobbled. And maybe lucky that Blankham C didn't catch it. If he doesn't get to the goal line, the half is over.
He was right along it. He just runs a little whip route, meaning he brings it inside, and you're going to see him whip it back outside. Some people call it an option. I like to call it a little whip route. Could he have gotten that ball over the, could he have broken the plane of the goal line?
It would have been close.
It sure would have. I thought
they're going to settle for 3 right here.
I thought they would have maybe taken a shot, you know, again, given Rock Taylor, given his size and his specs, giving him a shot in a one-on-one situation.
If they had held on to that timeout that they called after the penalty was called with the clock stopped, it would have changed everything. Instead, Caden Costa from short range gives them 3 right before the half. So it's back to a 10-point lead for Memphis. And they hold Florida State to only 3 first-half points here at Doak Campbell Stadium. 13-3, Memphis with the lead. At halftime, it is time now for the halftime report. Back to the studio, standing by with Joey Galloway and Dan Mullen. Here's Matt Barry. Welcome back to Tallahassee here at Doak Campbell Stadium. We welcome you back to the ACC on ESPN. set for the start of the third quarter. And a chance for Memphis to stretch their lead. They start the third quarter with the ball. And the Tigers have a 10-point lead over the Noles as this disastrous start to the season continues for Florida State. Down 13-3. And this will come out to the 25-yard line for the Tigers. Bob Wischusen here with Louis Riddick. Chris Budden along as well. And what an opportunity for Memphis on this drive to begin the second half. This drive might determine whether or not we have a football game.
No question. Look, if you're Memphis, you came into this game motivated already. Now you've got this team on the ropes. I know they're 0-2, but this was a team that preseason was supposed to do some things. You drive this ball down the field here and you score, you're probably going to have some player scoreboard watching on the part of Florida State. And if you're Florida State, their defensive line needs to step up again now. Again, they have to get off the field, get the ball back to the offense, and Mike Norvell has to find some rhythm for this offense and find some people he can depend on to catch the ball, block, score points.
Mario Anderson starts off the drive with a gain of 3.5. Marvin Jones brings him down. Chris Budden.
Mike Norvell saying everything you guys did. The defense has done its job. It's up to the offense to take care of the little things, catching the football, not turning it over. They need the offensive line to handle the pressure better up front, but it comes down to do your job in one play at a time.
And they have had no answers, Lewis, offensively.
None. Just when they start establishing some rhythm, something breaks down, and Memphis does their job and makes the plays they need to make.
Cut back lane for Anderson. Only a gain of a couple. Brings up third down. And the numbers ugly for Florida State. 3 turnovers in the first half, resulting in the Memphis points. And FSU, they shut down the Memphis running game.
Sure did.
But they got nothing going offensively at all.
No, they just can't sustain anything. They can't produce any explosives down the field. And we talk about that all the time in terms of chunk plays. It's the same as it is in the pro game. It's too hard to drive the length of the field consistently by getting 3, 4, 5. You need plus 10, plus 20 at a time.
And again on third down. Well protected. Finds a seam, and he finds Lanphier. Spins across the 50-yard line. Boy, he's tough to bring down. Eventually, the Noles gang tackle him, but not before he picks up 30 yards.
I mean, just watch Lanphier here. Just find the void in the middle of the defense and just settle down. And Seth Hennigan, without getting any pass rush, you give him that amount of time. He's been playing a lot of football, a lot of football. He's now thrown a touchdown pass in all 40 games that he has started at Memphis.
That's an important injury for Memphis. That's Rock Taylor with that right arm dangling at his side. That's the favorite target for Seth Hennigan overall. Now, he's gone to his tight ends. He spread the ball around today. But he is going to want to have Rock Taylor as an option. And right now, Rock Taylor on the sideline. So we'll keep our eyes on Taylor and see if he's able to shake off whatever that is. Here's a trick play. Jacoby Banks wants to throw it back to Hennigan, who is held. Hennigan screaming for a flag, and no flag comes out.
And rightfully so. You're going to see Hennigan at the top of your screen. And you just see Patrick Payton just grab him. And they just flat out miss it.
So Florida State gets away with one as they try the throw back to the quarterback. You're only guilty if they catch you. Patrick Payton apparently not guilty. Here's Hennigan on second down and 10. There's a crosser. That's DeWosier. First down and more. To the Florida State 25-yard line. Gain of 14.
And just clear out and bring DeWosier on a little shallow inbreaker as everyone is dropping 10, 12, 15 yards deep. And he has nothing but green grass to work with. Look, there isn't a defender within 5, 6 yards of him. And these backs, we talked about them, they can all run between the tackles in the open field. DeWosier, Mario Anderson, Brandon Thomas.
DeWosier again. Spin move. 9 more yards. DeWosier began his career at Louisville, eventually found his way to UMass and is now transferred to Memphis. He's a terrific addition to this Tigers backfield. Nice compliment to Mario Anderson, and now without Sutton Smith as well. They were even deeper in the backfield before they lost Sutton Smith.
Now you're seeing this offensive line opening up holes for these runners. This wide zone scheme that they use, this zone blocking scheme, you hear it talked about at all different levels of football. They're starting to impose their will a little bit early on in this second half on this Florida State defensive line.
Now it's Brandon Thomas, first down. Inside the Noles 12-yard line. Sione Lolohea made the stop, but not before Brandon Thomas got enough. It's good to see Rock Taylor back in as well.
You just see the surge of the Memphis offensive line coming off the ball, especially the interior three, Xavier Hill, Trent Holler, Jonah Gamble. The center and two guards, they're getting pushed in the middle of this offensive line, the middle of the defensive line of Florida State. Finding a lot of real estate to capture in this inside run game.
Keeper for Hennigan. He cuts it up inside to about the 5-yard line.
Seth Hennigan is not going to remind anyone of Lamar Jackson when he pulls the football and tries to get out there on the perimeter. But look, right now, all they're doing is taking exactly what Florida State gives them. They've been pounding him between the tackles, so now they run his own read. He reads it and he pulls it because everyone's converging on the dive. Gets good yardage on the perimeter. Everything's working right now for them on this drive.
Lancome, he trots in motion. Back across the ball. Hennigan rolls that way. Avoids a sack, dumps one underneath. Flags all over the place in the offensive backfield, and it might be roughing the passer.
I think that's exactly what you're going to get, Bob. Conrad Hussey just gives a little bit extra to Seth Hennigan, probably out of frustration. Look, they're getting the ball driven on them down the field. They've been playing their hearts out all game long. The offense hasn't been able to score. You get frustrated.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense, number 12. After this is to the goal, automatic first down.
This is the kind of thing that happens when you're starting to get frustrated and you're playing a lot of plays. You just got to be smart. You just got to like pull off and understand, hey, if there's any doubt, especially when you're hitting the quarterback, pull off.
At the distance and a first down. And now backing up is Hennigan. Diamond formation. Thomas. He was turned aside. Bounced off Joshua Farmer. He might have lost a yard on first down. It'll be second down and goal from outside the 3.
You know, football is nothing but a series of character checks at different points of the game. Like, what are you going to stand for? Who are you going to be? How hard do you want to fight? And that's what this is. And it's always like this down the goal line. That's why this is one of the most fun periods during training camp, when they have live goal line periods. Because coaches do it just to see who is going to try and step up with their back against the wall.
Anderson tries. He's grabbed around the ankles. That tackled by Patrick Payton. Now it will be third down and goal from the 2. So can this defensive line, much heralded that has been marched on this drive, get another red zone stop and hold to a field goal, try and keep their team in the game?
This is where now you got to play smart football. Okay, you're looking at it, and it's on the plus. It's on the +2. You know that ball handling is going to be a part of their game plan. Deception is going to be a little bit part of their game plan, to see if you will mess up in terms of your assignments.
Play action. Hennigan. End zone. Touchdown. Play action fake worked to perfection. And Anthony Landfear with his 5th career touchdown reception. Brandon Thomas, the running back for Memphis, down and injured after the fake. as he took a hit. But a 12-play touchdown drive is capped with this completion to Landfield.
It's right here. It's Patrick Payton. Who has the end man on the line of scrimmage? You see him staring into the backfield. On the block, you got to keep your eyes on your work. Who was your guy? Quarterback turns his back away from you. Off the ball, he's going to just run a play fake. All he wants you to do is hesitate just for a second and make you think it's a run. You lose track of who you have, and you see right there, Justin Cryer and Patrick Payton. You see Cryer coming over there going, did you have him? Did you have him? That's what it is. That's what's getting Florida State beat. That indecisiveness, not knowing what your assignments are, that's why you're so poor in the red zone.
30 consecutive games now. Memphis has scored at least 20 points in a game. It's the longest active streak in the nation. They've got a 17-point lead. Welcome back. Here in Tallahassee, it's time for our Aflac trivia question.
Aflac.
All right, which players have the 4 longest streaks for consecutive games with at least 1 passing touchdown in FBS history? Gotta like Louis Riddick's chance of getting at least one of the 4
I think
correct.
we're watching one of them.
Yeah, we're kind of gearing it in that direction.
Nice. Who could they be?
Pretty good question.
Yeah, it sure is.
We're going to ask you for a quick answer as Deucepan takes a knee.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out.
Well, we're giving you no time. We're gonna take you, put you out of your misery very quickly with the answer to our Aflac trivia question.
What we got here?
All right, 4 guys with the longest streaks for consecutive games with at least 1 touchdown pass in FBS history. There's Seth Hennigan on the list with Team Cato, Marcus Mariota, and Baker.
There you go, Baker Mayfield. He's absolutely burning it up right now in the league. May have found a home in Tampa Bay. See if DJ Uiagalelei can get a touchdown pass here. His offense desperately needs to show something.
Play action on first down. He's looking downfield. He wants the home run ball. Drops it into Malik Benson. Just what the Noles needed inside the 10-yard line. The crowd at Doak has been dying for a big play, and they just got one, 66 yards.
Yeah, you're going to see the safety at the top of your screen get a little too wide, and A.J. Watts. And it looks like they're playing a split safety look, and the guy who's responsible for the seam route down the middle doesn't get enough depth, and you open up the middle of the field wide open to Malik Benson. Just what Florida State needs to get something going.
Roydell Williams breaks a tackle in the backfield. Boy, that was a good run. He gets inside the 5 as Matt Hudson hit him well behind the line of scrimmage, and he got to the 4-yard line.
Even though that's not an explosive play, that's the kind of play that maybe will wake up this offense and wake up this sideline and get people fired up a little. That's football character right there. That's someone who hasn't just mailed it in and said this game is over. They need more of that collectively.
Roydell Williams at the goal line, kept his legs alive, and he breaks the plane for a Florida State touchdown.
This is just a nice, tough run on the part of Roydell. You see, oh, was that left? We'll take a look at this.
Florida State wants to go for 2. But let's see if the replay booth stops before the 2-point conversion, just to make sure that the touchdown is good. Florida State with as many yards on that pass to Malik Benson as they had in the entire first half offensively.
He was surfing across the bodies of people below him. They don't believe as though anything touched the ground that would have downed him before he broke the plane.
And here's the 2-point play try. Uiagalelei won't get there. Oh, does he get walloped? A violent hit on Uiagalelei as they come up short on the two-point play try. And that was the Harvard transfer, Matt Hudson. Uiagalelei paid the price. It's a 6-point trip for the
Well, the first teacher that comes to my mind is my mom. She was a second grade teacher, and after school every day, I'd go to her classroom and she'd make me read books until she was done with work. And I feel like that was one of the things that has stuck with me in my whole entire life. Every single moment in your life was an opportunity to learn.
Now, the most important factor in student achievement is the teacher in the classroom. That is why, in honor of Extra Yard for Teachers Week, ESPN is celebrating the role of teachers and their dedication to supporting students' development. On behalf of the College Football Playoff Foundation and ESPN, we recognize your passion, commitment, and the work that goes into ensuring your students succeed. We donated $1,000 Donors Choose gift card to Lori Hennigan of Hawk Elementary School to use towards resources for her classroom and students. Chris, it's a great story.
It is, and she is a longtime teacher, 16 years, as Seth said, spent most of that as a second grade teacher. Comes from a family of educators. Her dad was a principal, her mom was a speech therapist, and it continues in the Hennigan family. Her husband, Dave, Seth's dad, a longtime high school football coach at Denton Ryan. They played on Thursday, which is why they're able to be here today. Seth wants to follow in Dad's footsteps, a chance to impact the next generation as a high school football coach.
And have Mom as a teacher, Dad is your coach. And Seth with an 11-point lead at Doak with a swing pass to Mario Anderson. Spin cycle. And he gets free all the way out close to midfield before he's brought down. He put a move on, and Grady Kelly eventually tracked him down.
I mean, it's just hard to continue to emphasize the communication issues that Florida State has on the second and third level. Their defense between the linebackers and safeties. They turn backs and tight ends loose on the regular. They just have not been able to iron out those issues so you don't allow people free access down the field and easy catch opportunities.
Swing pass. Lankumsey. 7 yards. And there has been a rhythm to this Memphis offense here in the second half, Lewis, it seems.
Yeah, the tight ends and running backs, they're attacking inside out. An old Bill Belichick adage. Attack the defense inside out, defend the field inside out. Because if you can attack at the heart of a team, right down the middle, it just kills them. It just takes the life out of them. And it's the shortest throws, the easiest throws, the most high completion percentage throws, thrown to your backs and tight ends. Memphis is making a living out of doing that today.
Anderson breaks a tackle, gets an extra push, and I think he's got a first down. Looked like he was pushed just past the line to gain. DeMarco Ward hit him first. But if they compliment Seth Hennigan with a run game, he's already 6 for 6, 74 yards and a touchdown here in the third quarter. And after not running the ball really at all in the first half, the run game has been a better part of their offense in the third quarter as well.
Yeah, you know, this heat, this humidity, these long grinding drives, it just saps the energy out of a defense. And here in the second half, that's exactly what the game plan has been for Memphis. Supplement that pass, the short passing game, with just these gut check type of runs over and over.
Hennigan, nowhere to go. Kept his eyes downfield until the pocket collapsed, and he collapses underneath Daniel Lyons for a sack.
Why did he have to hold on to the ball? Because again, they tried to run these halfback wheel concepts where they're getting the backs out of the backfield on the linebackers, on the nickel defenders, and seeing if their communication is straight. And that time, guess what? They matched the pattern perfectly. He has to pull it down. It's really not that hard as far as how football works out and how it doesn't. But finally, Adam Fuller able to see a productive snap out of his defense in that regard.
A rollout for Hennigan. Sidearms one, incomplete for Rock Taylor. Third down and 13. So another chance for Florida State to get a stop well outside of field goal range. and keep this a 2-score game.
Two really good snaps back-to-back on the part of Florida State. Playing good coverage. Pass rush starting to win a little bit. Laying it down as the coverage holds up in the back end. Now they got to do it one more time. Just play smart. Don't let this experienced quarterback who knows his offense inside and out exploit you because you don't know what you're doing.
Will Florida State bring a blitz? They're showing it. Here they come off the edge. Hennigan over the middle. Sliding catch is made. Did Blankensee scoop it up? He did. First down.
That's just a big-time job by Hennigan of buying time. Step up in the pocket, avoid the rush, keep two hands on the ball, don't get it knocked out of your hands, and then Blankensee just working across the formation, seeing that his quarterback needs to find an open target and making the low, tough catch. It's a big first down pickup, huge.
Now a false start will be called. Memphis is arguing that Florida State may have jumped, might have induced it. Let's see what this call is. Certainly looks like Brian Silverfield's making the same argument.
Full start. Offense, number 61. 5-yard penalty. First down.
It's not a winning argument, as it turns out.
You're just going to see the route here by Blankensee against Kevin Knowles, the nickel defender, playing outside leverage, which means he's expecting someone on those in breakers to be there and to help him out. But the safety, Devontae Brown, is just too deep. He's just not prepared to offer that help on that deep in cut. It just all goes together.
That's a backwards pass. It's handled by Jacoby Banks. And he runs out of bounds. He lost some yardage. Lost about 2. So with 3 minutes to go in the third, it's going to be second down and long. Second down and 17 for Memphis after the penalty and a negative play on first down.
These are the ones, the down and distances, that as a defensive coach and defensive coordinator out in Florida, that you just expect your team to be able to get off the field here with, at the very most, a field goal attempt. Can't allow them to convert in these kind of long down and distance situations.
Easy pitch and catch to Lamphere. And that's going to make it third down and manageable. 3rd and 6 as he gets to the 25-yard line. And Florida State, they have really struggled this year stopping teams on third down. They need a stop here.
I mean, the linebackers are sitting at 12 yards depth on that zone coverage. It's just easy pitch and catch for Seth Hennigan. You're not challenging them. You're basically just letting them get chunks here. Now they're in the third and manageable. Hennigan's been picking these up in his sleep.
There's Adam Fuller. What will he dial up to try and get a third down stop? He's going to dial up a 5-man rush. Hennigan, flag down, short of the first down. That might have been a pick. Was it intercepted by Justin Cryer? Now they say no. No, they do. They give him the pick. Cryer wrestled the ball free, and they say he completed the catch. Now the officials will huddle up. The closest official to that play definitely whistled and pointed Florida State's direction, saying an interception. There is a flag down in the offensive backfield as well.
I think they're going to get a holding on Memphis late in the down. But just looking at this replay of Cryer.
Offense, number 61. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is an interception. First down, Florida State.
Just what the Noles needed defensively. A takeaway.
This is an unbelievable play if, in fact, they're able to confirm that he makes this play. You see Cryer here just pull this ball on the completion. That's the kind of play they need.
This was ruled an interception on the field, and it was determined that Justin Cryer had enough possession of the football while he was down And even though the ball came loose there, it was ruled that he completed the catch. And so it is a Florida State takeaway. And they've got the ball back off of a touchdown on their last possession. They might have a game again as Cam Davis bulldozes his way up the middle and picks up 7 on first down.
Well, you're going to see Cryer right here in the middle of your screen. Just watch how he's able to play this combination coverage, this 3-on-2 situation or his 3-on-3 situation. At the bottom of your screen, you see he just passes it off. He picks up the receiver coming across the formation and makes a heck of an effort to get that ball out and complete the interception and give life to his offense.
DJ Uiagalelei hit a deep shot to Malik Benson to set up the Florida State touchdown to make this a 2-score game. Nothing there for Cam Davis after he picked up 7 on first down. He loses 3 here. Matt Hudson, he's had some big tackles these last couple of drives against the Florida State offense. A 3-yard tackle for loss here, and now 3rd down and 6 after the takeaway. This is a big play.
It is. You see Lawrence Toafili come into the game in the backfield, number 9. Good receiving back out of the backfield, do it all-purpose running back. He hasn't really made his mark on this game, but he's a fantastic receiving option.
Rollout. Uiagalelei into a tight window, and how did he squeeze it in? Malik Benson with a first down catch. A gain of 10, and that should end the 3rd quarter with a huge conversion for the Noles.
Roll DJ Uiagalelei out to his right where he's so comfortable and can get a lot on that throw, and he fits it in the tight coverage.
That's the end of the 3rd quarter.
Florida State has life as we head to the 4th quarter. The deep shot to Benson set up the touchdown. That 3rd down conversion, just as big.
Coach, what have you seen different out of your offense since coming out of halftime?
Well, we were able to get a couple explosive plays. You know, obviously that's big for us. You know, I think guys kind of settled in, and now we just got to go put together drives. It's a big 4th quarter. You know, we got to get stops defensively. Big takeaway there. But I'm excited to see these guys go compete to the end.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
And Florida State starts the 4th quarter with a quick hitter to Benson and a cutback run. Breaks another tackle. Well, Malik Benson starting to take this game over for Florida State, the Alabama transfer. He's made arguably, Lewis, the 3 biggest offensive plays of the game for the Noles.
He sure has. The explosive down the middle. On the big pass play here, they have a nice little wide receiver screen set up where they get the lineman pulling down the field and get a hat on a hat. Malik Benson just turns into a running back. They've got Memphis a little bit on their heels now.
Wanted to unload Wood deep. Instead, he checks it down to Toafili. 5 more yards, maybe 6. Tackle made by Hudson. Florida State only had 67 total yards in the first half. A totally different story in the second half, but they've only had 2 0-3 starts in the last 50 years. One of those was under Mike Norvell. He does not want a repeat. Play action. Going back to make the catch, Hakeem Williams. First down.
It's a nice job by DJ Uiagalelei of pulling that ball on the RPO and then getting it out here to Hakeem Williams on the little stop route as he sees the corner bailing off coverage. He realizes the run is dead. The receiver breaks the route off nicely. He's able to get that long throw out to the sideline. Good execution.
Davis picks up 4. What's the biggest difference you've noticed in Uiagalelei? Where is this rhythm coming from?
I think once, look, he's had some rhythm in this game. He's just had some drops. But now after he hits the big post down the middle of the field to Malik Benson, you just see his confidence starting to kind of like flow a little bit. And Mike Norvell's dialing up some nice plays, and they're executing. There's some quality players on this side of the ball for Florida State. You can't.
He's 5 for 5. Darion Williamson makes him 6 for 6 here in the second half. Another Florida State first down.
And this is another good decision by DJ Uyunglele, rolling out to his right again, where he's comfortable. And then you see Big Darian Williamson with the nice catch. 6'3", 202 pounds, a big body on the outside.
Cam Davis inside the 10-yard line. Bobs and weaves his way to about the 7. Broke the tackle of Brent Carhu.
Okay.
Gained 6.5.
Cam Davis, the former 4-star, you see him just make the defender miss on the line of scrimmage. 224-pound tank with good feet. Nice drive by Florida State. Mixing the run with the pass. Good decision making by the quarterback in the RPO game. Throwing the football with accuracy. Receivers catching the ball.
Tipped ball. Finds its way still to Williams. But he's got nowhere to go. It'll be 3rd down inside the 10-yard line. He actually lost a yard.
You see the pressure coming by A.J. Watts off the edge. Now here comes the chess match, right? In this 3rd down situation. It's Jordan Hankins, the defensive coordinator from Memphis, against Mike Norvell. So what do you want to do? Do you want to just rush and cover with 7 in the back end? You want to send an extra guy after DJ? Do you want to play man? Do you want to play zone? Who's been hot for them catching the football? Got
Warlock in motion.
Portier at the top of the screen.
Uyunglele tucks it under. Hurdles. Still alive. And now the whistles blow. Everyone's slowed up, but he wasn't down yet. And now he gets hit. Seemed well after the whistle. Finally was blown. And it looks like he's short of the first down at that. That was a confusing play. A.J. Watts hit him first.
I think DJ thought he was down. He started walking. He thought the down was over also. Watch him here. Right there, his knee, his left knee is down on the ground. Looks like it should have been blind dead right there.
Well, it's 4th down and less than 1 inside the 5-yard line, and Florida State down by 2 scores. Obviously, they're going to go for it, especially with the rhythm it feels like they've got going offensively.
Yeah, it looked like he was going to toss that football to Portier in the back right corner of the end zone. Maybe could have fit it in there.
Uyunglele, will he get the push? He will. Easily picks up the first down. Goal to go for the Noles.
Now, if you're Mike Norvell, what do you do? Cam Davis has been running the football with authority. Roydell Williams with authority. That big offensive line, that experienced offensive line that has started to come off the ball. Do you lean on them right now and say, hey, look, this is another one of those character checks? Just like you have goal line, live goal line for the defense in training camp, the offense also. Now's the time. Get your feet and start it to come off the ball. Do you lean on them right now and say, hey, look, this is another one of those character checks? Just like you have goal line, live goal line for the defense in training camp, the offense also. Now's the time. Get your feet in the ground and come off the ball.
Roydell Williams, nowhere to go. Swamped under behind the line by that Memphis defensive front. He barely got inside the 5-yard line before he was brought down.
You can't just turn defenders loose. And that looked like there was some communication issues as far as an assignment football. And again, it's the kind of thing that continues to plague Florida State in spurts. There you see the defensive coordinator, Jordan Hankins of Memphis.
Javon Dennis, Devin Baldwin led the charge.
Feels like play
on first
action.
down. There is play action. Uyunglele looks end zone, floats one, way out of bounds. He airmailed Brian Courtney. Now it's going to be 3rd down and goal. Back close to the 5-yard line. 8.5 minutes to go, and Florida State still needs 2 scores.
Yeah, you see the pressure just coming off the edge late. It's Hamilton coming around the edge, and it just kind of sped up the clock in DJ's head. He was trying to wait for the receiver to come open across the back of the end zone, but he knew he had to get rid of it. Don't want to take any sacks, no negative plays.
Now Florida State substitutes. Memphis has the opportunity to as well, but the play clock winding down. It's at 5. Memphis brings a blitz. Uyunglele under pressure. It's hit from behind with flags down. He'll be sacked. Vic Alabuede got there first. It'll be holding against Florida State.
Holding. Offense, number 69. That penalty is declined. Brings up 4th down.
And at the end of a 16-play drive that gets all the way down to about the 2-yard line, Florida State has to kick the field goal here.
You can see the pass rush of Memphis. Guys able to get on the edges of these offensive linemen, make them move their feet, make them have to reach and lunge and grab. But just penetrating the pocket and just messing up the timing for DJ Uyunglele.
25 yards for Ryan Fitzgerald to make it a 1-score game. So a long drive, but eventually a bend but don't break stop, Lewis, for Memphis.
Yeah, it's good red zone defense on the part of Memphis for Florida State. Just a little bit of a...
Tonight at 8 Eastern over on ACC Network and the ESPN app, Virginia hosts Maryland. And what a top 25 women's volleyball matchup we have for you Tuesday night on ESPN. It's number 21 Florida State squaring off against number 13 Florida at 7 Eastern. Bob Wischusen here with Lewis Riddick and Chris Budden, and we've got a 1-possession game again. But an 8.5-minute drive for Florida State, Lewis, that results in only a field goal for the Noles. And remember, they also went for 2 on their last touchdown, so that means they're down 8. They have to get a stop, and they still need a touchdown and a 2-point conversion.
We've been talking about character checks. Here comes another one.
It will be Memphis football at their own 25-yard line when we come back midway through the 4th. As we head towards the 12-team college football playoff this year, we take a look at this week's college football rankings brought to you by Goodyear. Alabama, comfortable lead at Wisconsin. Missouri has opened up a 2-score lead against Boston College as well. Everyone else either idle or playing later on. Now also, again, in the 12-team playoff era, the top 5 highly ranked college conference champions automatically qualify, which means one of the group of 5 champions is going to make the college football playoff. Our playoff predictor right now has these 5 teams as the best chances to make the college football playoff. And you saw Memphis coming into today as having a 10% chance to make the college football playoff. That's entering today. That's before today's game. As DeRosier breaks free, puts his foot in the ground and gets to midfield to start this drive for Memphis with a lead with under 8 minutes to go.
Yeah, just a simple inside zone, and you see he just breaks it off of the blocks, reads the blocks perfectly, gets the ball north and south. Florida State sending pressure. Don't pressure with gap discipline, and that's how you produce chunk plays in the run game. When you aren't gap sound, this is the worst time for it to happen.
And with a veteran quarterback in Seth Hennigan, they are in no rush, letting the game clock wind down. They've got a first down near midfield. Rosier again starts left, cuts it back to the right, and he will lose about 5 yards. There's the negative the Florida State defense needed. But Lewis, to emphasize the opportunity that Memphis has if they win this game. And again, this has nothing to do with the results of the other group of 5 teams, just Memphis in a silo. Our numbers, if they hold on and win this game, go from 10% to make the playoff all the way up to almost 20%. Their odds almost double just by winning this game because of their chance to then win their league.
Yeah, they knew what was at stake. They knew how important this game was despite Florida State's record. Coming down here and getting a win on the road would be huge for them.
And again to throw. Off his back foot. Incomplete. 3rd down and 15 with 6:34 to go in a 1-possession game. The push there from Marvin Jones Jr.
Front and coverage working together. The coverage in the back end. The communication was clean. Nobody was turned loose. And that just buys an extra second, an extra beat for the defensive line and the pass rush to work. Eventually they put him in the vise, That being Seth Hennigan by the defensive ends, that's how it's supposed to look.
What an opportunity for the Florida State defense here to get the ball back for their offense. For Memphis, if they could manage just a field goal on this drive, it would all but end the game. Florida State rushes forward. Hennigan to Anderson. Well shy of the first down. KJ Kirkland brought him down first, a gain of 7. And here comes the punt group for Memphis from midfield.
That's answering the call on the part of Florida State. Big run by the Rouzier to start off the drive. They settle down, they recover, play assignment football, give their offense one more crack at it. They need a score and a 2-point.
So Joshua Sloan will try and pin them deep. LaWayne McCoy hoping for a chance for a return inside the 10-yard line. Flag down. Is that on Florida State? Memphis believes so.
I believe it is. I think you saw KJ Kirkland come across the line of scrimmage.
Well, they can't pick up a first down with this penalty, but it might at least create a decision. It would make it 4th down and 3 if this was a penalty against Florida State. Let's see.
Offside. Defense, number 24. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
All right, Louis Riddick, I'm going to put this to you. You are over on the sideline, and you're Ryan Silverfield, and I give you a chance to run a play on 4th and 3 on the road and potentially win the game if you get it. Would you do it?
Yeah, I would. And I think that's exactly what Ryan Silverfield's going to do here.
Wow.
I think he's saying, look, I'm recognizing there's a moment here right now. Can I dial up the play? Can I take advantage of what has been the weakness of Florida State? How have we been able to exploit them?
So this changes everything for Memphis from 4th and 8 and punting to 4th and 3 and going for it. Our analytics disagrees with this decision. Our department says kick up 8. Memphis instead's going to go for the jugular. Hennigan rolls out to DeBosier. Reaches the ball out. It looks like he's got it. Oh, he took the hit. Kept his feet. First down, Tigers. Wow.
That's a big time effort on the part of the Rouzier, because he took a heck of a hit from Kevin Knowles right at the marker. Watch the nickel defender, Kevin Knowles, plays with good vision, and then watch him rally. Now he knows it's the moment of truth. He puts everything into it, but you see the balance of the Rouzier. That's just a hell of a football play. To take that hit, know where you're at as far as where the line to gain is, and still get that ball across.
Anderson inside the 35-yard line. And again, every first down, as long as you take the play clock all the way down, can take at least 2 minutes or more off the clock. As long as Florida State doesn't use their timeouts, they're going to be forced to pretty soon. They've got the 2-minute timeout and 3 left. But also now you've got Memphis closing in on field goal range.
What a gutsy call by Ryan Silverfield, putting it in the hands of his star quarterback, trusting he'll make the right decision, put the ball where it needs to be put, and DeRosier making maybe the play of the game.
Anderson, about 1.5 yards shy of a first down. That will make it 3rd down and about 1.5 yards. KJ Kirkland made the stop. So they can take the clock close to about 3 minutes to go before they run this 3rd down play.
You see him just letting the clock bleed down, taking their time with the substitutions. Hennigan in full control. He's getting the play call in, making sure everybody's lined up, reaffirming the fact that, hey, look, no mistakes, no pre-snap penalties. For Florida State, just communicate this out as far as what your responsibilities are.
Brandon Thomas bounces off tacklers easily, picks up the first down, but a flag is thrown. Back behind the line of scrimmage. Huge call here.
Holding. Offense, number 7. penalty. Still third down. The clock will start on the snap.
Not only are you replaying third down, but this also knocks you back outside field goal range.
Yeah, it's just Kedrell Lewis right here, number 70. Again, when you see the inside charge with the Florida State defensive line, you see the left hand just hook him. And that's exactly what that is designed to do. You're one, trying to get penetration. Two, you know that offensive tackles are going to be at a disadvantage. Sometimes you pick up holding calls like that when you have that quick, predetermined line stunt by the defensive front.
What's your play call here? Are you thinking first down or are you thinking field goal range?
I'm thinking at the worst field goal range, maybe we can pop it and get the first down here. We're just trusting the quarterback to read this out and make the right play because he's been doing it all game long.
Hennigan, flags down. This might be a false start. They blow this dead. It will be. Now it's going to be third down and even 5 more backwards. 3rd and 16.
Full start. Offense, number 70. 5-yard penalty. Third down.
It's Kedrell Lewis again. It's not a good series for him right now. He's going to have to settle himself down and understand and recognize what the moment is and what it requires. Sometimes that kind of stuff starts getting in your head, especially in a big game like this on the road against an opponent that you know winning this football game means a lot to your program. Got to stay in the moment and concentrate.
Caden Costa's career long is 50 yards. They have to get to about the 32, maybe the 33-yard line to get him in range. Hennigan will run for it. And he will dive down to the 36-yard line. And they're going to say he gave himself up at the 37. So from right here, you're looking at about a 52, maybe a 53-yarder.
Timeout.
Florida State will call
Florida
timeout.
State, they're first. Media timeout.
Now this would actually probably be closer, almost at 55. Let's see what Memphis does when we come back. We are back, and Caden Costa is lining up from 55 yards away to try and give Memphis a 2-score lead with a little under 3 minutes to go. His career long, Lewis, is 50 yards, so Ryan Silverfield is going to give Costa a chance.
You must have seen him do it from this distance at some point in time in training camp. Spring ball.
Does it have the distance? It doesn't matter. It's wide right. So great field position after the miss for Florida State. Now they still need a touchdown and a 2 to tie the game. But Ryan Silverfield, with some courageous calls in this last sequence, gave his kicker a try to ice the game.
Had plenty of distance on it. He hit it clean, just pushed it a little bit wide right. From up here in the booth, that ball cleared the bar by a good distance. Now here comes the chess match, right? Here's the chess match. Jordan Hankins, defensive coordinator from Memphis, against Mike Norvell, a guy who Ryan Silverfield, as he told us, knows him very well. Here's the chess match. Pressure versus coverage versus zone versus man. What are you bringing?
They're bringing pressure. And Uyunglele will go down, sacked by Chandler Martin.
You can see Chandler Martin, watch him just come off the edge here. They just collapse the interior down. No one jumps out to pick him up. Chandler Martin just making big play after big play in this game.
Now only a 3-man rush. Uyunglele broke it up. Tried a long throw to the sideline, and Kobe Minor was there. 3rd down and 19 after the sack and the breakup.
Textbook corner play. You see the corner. He's just kind of sitting on it. You don't ever really see him drive on the deep route like it's going to be a go. The ball isn't thrown with anticipation. Takes a long time for it to get there. Now you got a 3rd and long.
Another blitz. Uyunglele spins out, being pursued, sacked again. Back to the 15-yard line. And this should take us down to the 2-minute timeout.
They go with 0 coverage, max blitz. They bring Brian Edmondson off the edge. You're going to see him come off the edge clean.
That is the 2-minute timeout.
DJ rolling out to his left. They've got him in their sights.
Now for the final 2 minutes, presented by Allstate.
Well, Florida State is in an almost impossible situation. They are faced with 4th and 32 after back-to-back sacks. And in these final 2 minutes, presented by Allstate, Mike Norvell is going to punt rather than go for it on 4th and 32. So Mastromano gets away, a terrific punt. Drake with a fair catch all the way back at the 30-yard line. And Lewis, I'm sure there are probably some FSU fans that think you're waving the white flag there, but he's got 2 timeouts left. He's probably thinking, what are the odds that you get it
right
on 4th and 32? Well, what would you have done there? Now you're going to call your timeouts, you're just hoping you get a 3 and out?
Yeah, I think when looking at it from a big picture view, as we were talking about through the break, especially considering the punter that you have and he can flip the field position for you, you're just hoping now between the usage of your timeouts and hopefully your defense being able to rise up, that this gives you the best odds. Of course, you would have been, fans are going to want you to try and go for it, because considering how this season has gone and how it looks when you punt, when you're down like this, but he played the odds. He made the best decision he thought for his team. Now let's see if the defense can rise up.
One first down will end the game for Memphis as Hennigan will dive ahead for a yard, and there is timeout number 2 called by the Noles.
Timeout. Florida State, their second. 30 seconds.
So the best that Florida State can hope for is to get their offense the ball back with maybe just under a minute to go. As we'll take a look at Louis Riddick's keys to the game and how this shaped up, what you thought were the keys and how they played out.
Yeah, Florida State, they haven't rushed for over 150 yards, but they have done a nice job, for the most part, of stifling the Memphis running game, as you can see there. And then for Memphis, no turnovers. They had 1. And then in the red zone TD drives, they were 2 for 4 on offense, 50% both offensively and defensively. So it's kind of it's a little bit of a mixed bag, and that's kind of how this game has gone, right? It's a 1-score game. That's what you would expect as far as both teams maybe meeting some of their goals, falling short on others.
Mario Anderson wrapped up by Farmer at the line of scrimmage. The final timeout used quickly by Mike Norvell.
Florida State, their 3rd and final. 30 seconds.
So while we have a chance, let's check in with Matt.
All right, Bob, it is.
Well, that did get interesting. And this game has a chance to be interesting depending on how much time Florida State still has on the clock. When their offense gets the ball back, they have to get a stop, though, on this play. 3rd down and 8. They are now out of timeouts. Anderson. Forward progress to the 35-yard line. About 4 yards. It'll be 4th and 5. Memphis will punt. But they'll be able to take the clock down, as we said, inside of a minute to go. So you figure 5 or 6 seconds for the punt play, and FSU will probably have the ball with about 50 seconds on the clock and no timeouts left.
They'll have to start taking some shots down the field. And the pressure that's been put on DJ Uiagalelei has been relentless here late in the 4th quarter. Then it's a matter of, does Jordan Hankins that continue to be aggressive and try and put this game away? You don't want to get too soft. You don't want to allow them any chunk plays to get that ball down the field. The chess match continues.
So Ryan Silverfield calls time.
Memphis, their first. 30 seconds.
Bob Wischusen, Louis Riddick, Chris Budden is with us as well. It's hard to believe from a Florida State perspective that we are having this conversation, right? Starting off the season 10th in America, and off of last year, an undefeated season until the Jordan Travis injury. And we know what happened with the college football playoff, the disappointing end to their season, but Noles fans have to be shell-shocked.
Yeah, it's just lack of rhythm on the offensive side, lack of consistency. You see it in spurts. We saw it in spurts when we were here, 2 weeks ago, and you're seeing it in spurts here in the second half, and you're seeing it out of certain players, but collectively they just can't keep it going. Defensively, they finally show up today as far as trying to capture the line of scrimmage, make sure they shut down the run game. They don't get the ball run on them like they have the previous 2 weeks, but they still give up some plays in the passing game. That inconsistency.
LaWayne McCoy lets it bounce, and Memphis avoids touching it and lets it roll dead inside the 15-yard line, and that takes some extra time off the clock as well, all the way down to 46 seconds. A 52-yard punt. So McCoy not catching it costs Florida State yardage and time.
Now, if you're the Memphis defense, you want to play this situation correctly. You want to make sure you keep people in bounds. Make sure you don't get the ball thrown over your head. Continue to rush the passer. Continue to do what frustrates DJ Uiagalelei. Force him to his left. Don't let him roll out right. No assignment errors in the back end. And if you're Florida State, you got to protect. We've got to get some chunks. We got to get this ball down the field.
Three-man rush. Uiagalelei hit as he throws. Javon Dennis wrapped around his waist, and that forces Uiagalelei to spike the ball with 40 seconds to go.
Memphis only rushes 3 and drops out and plays, max zone coverage, and they're still able to complete the play with the sack. That's just been indicative of how this season has gone for Florida State.
Again, they rush only 3. Over the middle, Morlock, catch and run, out to the 43-yard line. And again, the clock stops until they set the chains and set the ball ready for play. Now it starts to roll again. Uiagalelei trying to get his team set to go. Takes the snap. Here comes a blitz. Long throw outside. The number's incomplete for Benson.
Defensive coordinator Jordan Hankins said enough of that rushing with 3. I'm going to heat you up a little bit. I'm going to get some more after you, so I'm going to bring 5 now. Make you speed up your clock. You're not going to just sit back here, DJ, and pick apart my zone coverage, because it was a beautiful throw to Kyle Morlock on the play previous.
No timeouts for Florida State. And they have to have a touchdown and a 2. 19 seconds remaining. Memphis shows blitz. Here it comes again. One-on-one out on the edge, but a miscommunication. I'm not sure if that was a pick play where he wanted Williamson, or if Hakeem Williams went in and Uiagalelei thought he was going to stay out. It'll be 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, they went with 0 coverage. Max blitz. It's just a longer developing route combination when you have that wheel route where the 3rd guy in the trip set is running the wheel, meaning he runs an out and up. It just takes too long to develop when you've got max pressure coming on you. That's the chess match. You're trying to get chunks, but you can't get chunks when you've got max blitz coming.
Another blitz. Benson broke it up. Greg Rubin knocked it away with only 9 seconds to go, and it's 4th and 10.
It's a nice job by Rubin of not committing the PI and just timing this up. He arrived maybe a tad bit early, but he's able to punch that ball out because Benson was open.
So now it's 4th down, and the best that Florida State can probably hope for is 2 more plays.
Memphis, their second. 30 seconds.
So Memphis will call their final timeout, or they still have 1 remaining, pardon me, on defense. Now Florida State, if they do pick up a 1st down, I don't even know if they'd have enough time to get up and spike the ball.
Exactly. I think here you kind of want DJ to maybe run around a little bit. Go ahead and let that clock bleed down. Just make sure you don't get the ball thrown over your head. Don't let anyone behind you. Just tackle the football and end this game.
Florida State's going to need 2 plays called, you would think, in this huddle here.
You don't want to turn anything loose. That's why I don't think you're not going to send any pressures. You're not going to send 5, 6 man pressures.
The Noles need a miracle, and that's all that's standing between Memphis and a terrific road win to keep their undefeated start alive. Uyunglele over the middle. That's pulled in. Morlock gives himself up. 2 seconds to go. The clock stops, and the Seminoles will get lined up.
The game clock needs to be reset to 3 seconds.
They add
The
a
game
second.
clock needs to be reset to 3 seconds.
That
It will
actually,
start on my signal.
that actually does give Florida State a chance to spike the ball if they want. You can spike it if there's more than 2 seconds on the clock. And Mike Norvell realizes that and gives his team the signal to spike it. If there's 2 seconds on the clock or less, you can't spike it. But 3 seconds or more, and you're allowed to spike it. And now
Please
they have
set
a
the game
chance
clock to 1 second. 1 second on the game clock.
to at least get organized before they call a play. Although this is just a Hail Mary into the end zone, I guess.
But they gave themselves a chance. Good awareness on the part of Morlock to get down. And he got a favorable call. I was watching the clock and him as he went down to the ground. Were they going to put a second back on the clock? Worked out to their favor.
So one last chance for Florida State. Here comes a blitz. They don't want to give Uyunglele room to get it to the end zone. He'll heave it. It's down near the goal line. Batted down by Memphis, and their sideline explodes. The Tigers, with Julian Barnett knocking it down at the goal line, win it here in Tallahassee.
You see, they make the mistake of letting DJ get out to his right, but he's not able to get a whole lot on the ball, so it's going to be short of the end zone anyway. But it's just smart defensive play on the part of Memphis to not try and go up and pad your stats and get a pick. Just knock the ball down. Just volleyball, spike it with 2 hands down to the ground and end this game. It's kind of how Memphis has been playing the entire day. Just smart, hard-nosed football, good situational football in all 3 phases. And for Malik Benson and the Florida State Seminoles, man, it's just heartbreak again.
Hard to believe, but for the second time in 5 seasons under Mike Norvell, it's winless through 3 games for Florida State. And Memphis with a huge win on the road. And they could very well be in this college football playoff picture throughout the season. For Louis Riddick and Chris Budden, I'm Bob Wischusen. Thanks so much for watching. So long from Tallahassee.